Hey, how are you? I'm gonna paint in my sketchbook and I'm very excited to show you this because I had so much fun. I wanted to use all my mediums that I've been loving on one page. I've been following her username is Laura Horn Art. I'll also link her YouTube, but she does a bunch of mixed media art and then with like abstract elements that look just so fun. And because I've this year I've been loving watercolor, color pencils, oil pastels, and then acrylic paint is what I always work with. I forgot markers in this. That's my bad. I also loved markers this year, but so I did forget that. I just wanted to use them all in one place and just have fun. That's what I did. This brush looks like a horse's hoof, and that makes me laugh. But I started with just a wash of kind of a purpley, messy background, and then I started adding these blobs, and I just used the one big brush for everything because, I don't know, I think I don't have to think about what the shape is really, because it's a big brush, it just happens, you know? Exactly. So I'm adding some little pink blobs, and I just wanted to have fun and to definitely do watercolor first. I did do a spread in my sketchbook that was watercolor background like this and then pastels over it, and I really liked it. So that's kind of what I'm doing, but also I wanted it to be looser brush strokes and just be messy and have fun. So I did like a darker purple blue and did some everything's a vague shape of what I normally do. So these are like vaguely leaves and lines. But I kind of did them as leaves around the flowers. I did some that kind of looked like stems with leaves. Some are just blobs. And yeah, I love this. I don't know what made me pick that color. Because, I mean, I always go for pinks, and then the purple is right next to the pink, so I was just dipping my brush in both of them and making a mess of the whole palette as usual. And then, I don't know, this dark blue purple spoke to me, I guess. My goal this year was to make art for fun more and not because I'm always making art with videos in mind, with what's gonna do well, what's gonna be a good art print. Can I turn this into an art print? Is this gonna work and it's like a constant thing. And I forget that art is fun, you know? I mean, I still have fun doing those things, but just, you know what I mean. Or if you don't, then I don't know how to explain myself. We know this about me. So anyways, back to what I'm doing. Okay, I was talking about I'm keeping this in. You know I always do. So I put bigger blobs on there for fun. And then I decided to add glitter because if I'm adding all the things that I love in one place, it's going to be acrylic glitter paint. But while I do that, I'll go back to what I was talking about with the sketchbook. Obviously, I haven't kept up with it a ton. I definitely try things out in it too. And there's like less pressure that way. Because with this idea that I'm doing right now, I was like, should I just try this on some watercolor paper and go for it? And I was like, I'll do it in my sketchbook. And now I'm adding more acrylic paint and vaguely a kind of little mini leaf shapes, but also not, just very a loose hand with the brush. But yeah, so having a great time. And I don't know, I really like this color palette that ended up. I was just kind of looking around. I had all my paint in front of me. And I went for it, but I really I'm gonna use these colors again. It is funny because I couldn't make myself just do an abstract, some like piece. I don't know how to do abstract. I like abstract. I don't fully understand it. I don't know when to stop. I don't know you know, because I have the too much gene, and if I'm having fun adding dots and little random scribbly marks, I'm just gonna keep going. And then I look back and I'm like, oh, I probably should have, like, I don't know, been more intentional about that. But I have to make it flowers or make it look like something. I can't just, I don't know, because I kept the blobs and a bunch of random marks, but now I'm adding colored pencils, and I'm drawing them, some just in the background, some attached to the made up flower blobs, and then where the watercolor, those vague leaf shapes, I'm doing over some of those. But I couldn't decide. I kind of ended up going back and adding more in the background, not on the other watercolor shapes, and just adding things everywhere. I'm adding little dots now because dots are fun, you know, in little sections. And I've seen that done. But yeah, and I don't know, I did what felt right. I think that's great for me. Now I'm adding pastels. I was very excited about this. I love how all these look together. That little one I just did looks like a little butt. And I don't know if I kept it like that, but that makes me laugh. And that one up there, I'm pointing to it. You can't see what I'm talking about, but I also overwork stuff sometimes, and I'm like, okay, just chill. Like I was overworking that one flower, but it's okay. Because I just like when I do like a loose, my like one mark or a couple, and then I like how that looks. But if I think about it too much, or I don't like how it looks right off the bat, I try to go back, but then I have to stop myself, and I'm like, nope, let it be. And now I'm going with a darker colored pencil. And look how pretty that watercolor wash is. I'm adding a flower. And I kind of wish I had not used the whole space. I mean, I like it. I just wonder, I think next time I want to try kind of doing a big blob and then just drawing a flower in the center, leaving some of the blob shape around it. I don't know, I'm already excited to do more of this. But I just love how it all looks. There's just so much to look at. And I kind of added centers to these because I wanted to keep them vaguely scribbled flowers. But I just love it. So I did like a main one and then I added pastels to that one. Back to having a sketchbook though. I love this for because last night I was wanting to make something, but I didn't want to make something. You know what I mean? I didn't want to make a whole piece and have to blah, blah, blah. But I just wanted to make art. So then that's why I love this. And doing this made me feel so creative and so inspired. And now I'm inspired to look up about abstract art and figure out more about that, because when I've always looked at abstract art and I've been like that, I feel like that, I mean, I don't do realistic art. And I love my scribbly marks and I love my blob flowers. I think I want to do more of this. And I know that, like, my mom does not like abstract art, and when she sees it, she's always like, I don't understand. And I get it sometimes. But I feel like if you look at it from a place of just creativity, it makes sense. Because not everything has to be something, you know? It can just be. Which I am making mine something still, but it also just is. I keep adding scribbly marks and having fun. I added more of it's like a darker of the other pastel I was using, just adding little smudgies, scribbles in places that feel like they should be there, and they're going to. And I'm doing this whole page first, and then I'll show you a sped up version of the other one. But I kind of just wanted to figure out what I was doing here. Plus, I can only zoom in on one page at a time to fit in the screen. And then I added this I saw this bright green and I said, yes, that's what I need. That is the pop of color I need right now. It's almost like a yellow, it's like that spearmint gum color, kind of. And I'm adding that on top of that other green. And then I added random lines, kind of like little worms. I don't know, I ended up not loving those, and well, you'll see. Now I'm outlining the other flower that's in the crack of the page, adding some little scribblies, as I have been, with different colors. And yeah, and with those lines I was doing, I'm adding green to the blue too. With those lines, there I am. I added the darkest color pencil I was using. I just added little dashes in a line because that just, even if there is something off that I don't like, I can usually layer on something else. And I'm like, okay, all right, I see you and I hear you, and you're cool. So I just keep doing that. And I had another thought, but now it's gone. And then I love these. This is something, I did the oil pastels, so we have the little dots. I love the look of the really tiny colored pencil dots and then these chunkier dots. I did go a little overboard with these. I kind of did them in a line sometimes with like, it's whatever. That one I just did. I was like, oh, I shouldn't have done that because it's too close to the one on top. But then I just kept adding more to where it was fine. And I was like, whatever. I meant to do that. It's cool. It's great. And even though, everything seems kind of carelessly placed, I'm still intentionally putting it there. And then when I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have done that, then we intentionally scribble somewhere else. And now I just thought it'd be fun to do we saw like a real-time version of the other page, and now we get a sped-up version of this one. And I think that's fun. So I started with the color pencil, and then I did the oil pastel on the little flowers. The big ones, that one's kind of big, but I kept the oil pastel ones to the smaller ones. What am I talking about? Oh, in the bigger ones, I did colored pencils. And now I'm adding dots. Little baby colored pencil dots. And then, what are we going to do? I did these little things. I did these kind of in the shapes of little flower buds, the little blue ones, and now I'm doing the lines and the colored pencil on those little worms. Adding the green. I just already want to do some more of this. I do. And I posted on my Instagram stories of me doing this last night, just a little clip of it, and I have the message pulled up. I got a message from someone and it says, "Dude, you are so inspiring. Like literally, your videos remind me how fun it is to play with art." And I was like, oh my gosh, I love that. And that, I was like, I love that, and also I'm this is me reminding myself that art is fun, and we're just playing around, and we're using our creativity, and we're having a great time. Sometimes it's not cute, and sometimes it is. Either way, we have fun. Here she is. I love her so much. Okay, bye.